Farmers are feeling the effects of the climate crisis and are among the hardest hit by the consequences of a changing climate. The two most important ways farmers can adapt and build resilience to climate change and reduce greenhouse gases are building soil carbon and managing nitrogen. Peter Woodbury, a scientist at Cornell University, researches how agriculture and forestry practices can improve resiliency and reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
When we say increasing soil organic matter, we're also increasing soil carbon at the same time. Increasing the amount of carbon in soils increases soil health, but it's also removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere.
Farmers can increase carbon in their soils by keeping the soil covered by crops and cover crops year-round, growing perennial crops, integrating trees into agricultural systems, reducing tillage, and adding amendments such as biochar. Most people know that carbon dioxide is a huge contributor to climate change, but nitrous oxide is a little more subtle, by name that is.
And it's 300 times as potent as carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. So this is really important on farms because most farms need to use a lot of nitrogen to produce healthy crops. And just a small amount of that nitrogen released as nitrous oxide can be a big problem.
Nitrous oxide escapes into the air from the soil when excess nitrogen isn't used by plants. This nitrogen comes from inorganic fertilizers, nitrogen-fixing crops, and manure. Manure complicates matters further because it releases methane into the atmosphere, yet another greenhouse gas that's 30 times as potent as carbon dioxide. To manage manure, farmers can cover liquid manure and burn the methane that's released, converting the gas into carbon dioxide and greatly reducing its greenhouse gas contribution. Managing nitrogen efficiently means fertilizing crops at the right time, in the right place, with the right amount. A number of tools exist to help farmers do this.
Tools like precision agriculture, tools like getting a nitrogen recommendation during the season, depending on the weather that's already happened and your cropping system.
Dr. Woodbury works with government programs to develop new tools to measure reduced emissions and to overcome the challenges of reduced emissions on a large scale. What are some of these challenges? Increasing soil carbon can increase soil nitrogen, so farmers must be careful to monitor the nitrogen in their soils and not over-apply fertilizers when building organic matter. It can take decades to increase soil carbon, but then tilling the soil for 1 or 2 years can lose most of that carbon. Permanence, ensuring that emissions reductions are irreversible, is a central issue when making greenhouse gas policies, and practices such as burning methane and reducing nitrous oxide emissions are much more verifiable and permanent than storing soil carbon. Improving soil health also improves the environment, and there are a lot of practices farmers can adopt to reduce emissions of greenhouse gases. It's important for farmers, landowners, and policymakers to continue to explore ways to meet the challenges and reduce global impacts on climate change. For more information and resources, see the New York Soil Health website.